Hello class, today we are going to view your very first video lecture on social studies. If someone asks you what the term social studies means, what would you say? Social studies is the study of social relationships. Social relationships, this includes people who are living now, those who lived a long time ago, and those to come. Simply put, social studies is the study of different people. Social study integrates or combines two disciplines. The first is social sciences. The second is humanities. Social sciences means that we're talking about enjoying the interactions with other groups. Note in the word social sciences, social. If someone ever refers to you as being social, that means that you like to interact with other people. Humanities, when we're talking about the word humanities, we're simply talking about people. We're not talking about dealing with animals. We're not talking about dealing with objects. We're dealing with people. The word human, which is a root word in humanities, will help you remember that. Now, there are 5 parts of social studies. What are those 5 parts? While history and geography are the commonly associated parts that we typically think of when we study social studies, in actuality, the humanities and there are several other important areas that make up the study of social studies. The first part of social studies is history. The definition of history is a time period of past events. I think I skipped one. We talk about the history, we're looking at a time period of past events. We're looking at the past. Another part, or second part, to study in social studies is culture. Culture is a set of beliefs, values, and practices people have in common. Another way of thinking about that is that culture includes the customs of a particular group of people. Third practice, part of social studies, is economics. Economics is the branch that makes up the production, the distribution, which means to give out, and the consumption. Consumption is a big word that means to use. Okay? And the goods of services. So when you're talking about economics, you're talking about money. What makes the money flow in a society? How do people get goods from one place maybe and use them? That all goes to the economics, and that makes up social studies. A fourth component is government. Government is a group of people who create, enforce, and oversee laws of a society. We have a government, of course. Most places do have a government. Some of them are official and some are unofficial, but we will go and delve into government a little bit later. And probably the most common part of social studies that people study is geography. Geography is studying the world, its people, and the landscapes they create. Now, when you think about landscapes, people always associate geography typically with just learning about where something is on a map. But geography actually is talking about the world, its people, and how they interacted with those landscapes. That's why we need to understand the geography of where they were. Okay, now, why teach social studies? Or I guess a better question for you would be, why do I need to learn social studies? Well, there are several reasons it's important to learn social studies. I could list 10 or 20, but for the purposes of this video, I'll only go over 5. First, which is to understand people and societies. Number 2, to understand how society began. How did it all begin? Number 3, to understand change. How are things different now than they were a long time ago? to understand how important history is to our lives. And the last and most important one, I believe, is to help you become responsible citizens. The topics we will focus on in our 6th grade social studies class this year will include the birth of civilizations and early societies.